What if we terraformed the moon? By Kurzgesagt. My favorites. What if we did terraform the moon? I don't know. We have a lot of problems here to focus on. We should probably start there. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, let's get into it.
The Milky Way contains over
That's a
100 billion
background.
planets and moons,
Wow.
but only a handful can sustain biological life. But what if humans could modify the
That's
ecosystem
not-
of any cosmic body in our galaxy?
Wait a minute. That's not the Kurzgesagt voice. This is Koranos. Ah. I don't know why I thought it was Kurzgesagt. Oh, God. Okay, correction. What if we terraform the moon by Koranos? I haven't really reacted to these guys much. The art style kind of looked similar, and I just jumped to conclusions.
What if
Let's
we could
go.
change the temperature, thicken the atmosphere, and create another green planet? In the 1940s,
So see, I think that we have a lot of problems on Earth to focus on. That being said, I don't think that terraforming a faraway place is a bad thing. I think that from a redundancy standpoint, it's a great thing if we actually colonize another planet. However, the moon is a little close, I feel. I feel like there's certain events that could happen that could potentially eliminate life on the moon and Earth. I'd rather see us focus on terraforming something that's a little further away, like a Mars, or maybe setting up a way to live on Venus. That'd be pretty creative. But the moon, I mean, I guess that would help a lot for, easing the cost of entry, and it would help a lot for redundancy too, because there's not much that could wipe us out. But when it comes to disease is the big thing. I have a feeling because the moon is so much closer that we would go back and forth a lot more and potentially spread any crazy apocalyptic type of diseases, as opposed to like a Mars. That would be a journey very few and far between.
author Jack Williamson coined the term terraforming. To terraform is to create an ecosystem that supports living organisms, from
Yep.
large, complicated vertebrates to simple, unicellular bacteria. Unfortunately, no
do
cosmic
it.
body has ever been terraformed. It's an incredible feat that we as a species are far from achieving.
We could do it.
But let's jump a few hundred years into the future. If we could terraform another planet, where would we start? Our most promising candidate isn't actually a planet. It's a moon. The very
It is
same
close
moon
by.
you see glowing in the night sky.
Makes it quite a bit
What
cheaper and
makes the
easier.
moon an ideal candidate for humanity's first adventure in terraforming? The moon has one major advantage over every planet in our galaxy. It's only a short space flight away from Earth.
Yeah.
Of the 7 non-Earth planets in our solar system, Venus is the closest. The distance between Earth and Venus ranges from 162 million miles to 24 million miles. But the
quite
latter
far
only
away.
happens once every 584
Not to scale.
days. Traveling such a vast distance creates an incredible hurdle for our limited technology. On average, the Moon is about 240,000 miles away, a fraction of the distance between
Yeah,
Earth and
tenth,
Venus.
right?
A shorter space
At its
flight opens
closest.
up all kinds of possibilities. Shipping supplies, transporting parts, carrying astronauts and colonists. A smaller distance makes everything easier.
This animation
and
style's, I
significantly
like it.
less expensive. Though the distance between Earth and the Moon is comparatively small, the Moon is far from perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Its dead and desolate ecosystem presents a number of environmental challenges.
It has a lot of resources though, right? So I was reading or watching somewhere where they thought it was possible to make our own rocket fuel from materials harvested on the moon. So in addition to getting other materials like iron, potentially like gold and platinum, etc., we can make our own fuel too.
First and foremost, the Moon's atmosphere is unbearably thin. It's made of a paper-thin layer of gases which form a lunar exosphere. This exosphere contains just 100 molecules per cubic centimeter. For
Yeah.
reference, Earth's atmosphere at sea level contains 100 billion molecules per cubic
I'd hate to see a
centimeter.
competition for a
As
long
it
jump
stands
on
today,
the moon.
the moon's
That'd be pretty
exosphere
cool.
cannot support biological life. So how do we thicken the exosphere and create a life-bearing ecosystem? The moon's exosphere remains razor thin because it lacks the gaseous density of Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
If we're going to thicken the moon's exosphere, we're going to need more gas. To spread gas around the exosphere, we'll need a series of icy comets that we will crash into the surface of the moon. When these comets
on, that would be
thundering
really
into the
cool,
moon's
though.
exosphere, the impact will populate the exosphere with a surplus of water vapor. Water vapor contains oxygen and hydrogen, which are two essentials for biological life.
Yep.
But we need at least one more element to create breathable air. The last piece of the puzzle is nitrogen. Aerospace engineer Dandridge M. Cole
I just
claimed
want
a
to
gas
crash
called
asteroids
ammonia
to the
could
planet.
fill the atmosphere with nitrogen. Cole designed his proposal
Comets,
for the
rather.
red planet Mars, but the same strategy could potentially thicken the moon's exosphere. Humans could import a large quantity of ammonia, which would fill the moon's empty exosphere with nitrogen.
How do we
Ammonia
import
would
it, though?
also trigger the greenhouse effect,
Do we send it from Earth?
trapping and reflecting heat from the sun. This brings us to another significant roadblock: the moon's wildly changing temperatures. During the day,
It's very
the
cold,
moon
right?
boils. At the lunar equator, temperatures climb to a fiery 250 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh,
In the
okay.
evening, they plummet to the opposite extreme. Freezing nights fall below minus 200 degrees Fahrenheit around the equator, while deep craters at its northern pole
I didn't
can reach
realize it got
minus
that hot
410 degrees
at certain
Fahrenheit.
times in certain places.
That's about 266 degrees colder than the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth. Why does the moon's temperature fluctuate so dramatically? It doesn't have an atmosphere to protect and insulate the surface.
Yep.
If humans tried to live on the moon right now, its radical temperatures would make our lives a living nightmare. But a surplus of gases like hydrogen,
And
oxygen,
radiation,
and
too.
nitrogen would thicken the atmosphere.
That's a pretty big
insulate the surface,
problem is
and
the
create
radiation,
a
right?
protective bubble from the sun's violent rays.
Yep.
Say we crash 100 icy comets into the surface of the moon.
But that would
Say
be
we
so
import
cool.
an excess of ammonia into the atmosphere, and the moon's harsh ecosystem grows more livable.
Uh-huh.
Soon, we would build the first lunar settlement. What would life be like for the first group of settlers on the moon?
You'd probably
Colonists
stay
may
inside a
notice
lot.
A surprising number of similarities to life on Earth. For starters, the moon's rotation could hypothetically be sped up to match the Earth's 24-hour cycle.
That'd be
Currently,
interesting.
one lunar day spans almost 30 days on Earth. The moon is tidally locked to the Earth, so the moon rotates incredibly slowly. By purposely crashing 100 comets into the surface of the moon, we could speed up
I
the
think we
moon's
should do it
rotation.
just for that purpose
The
alone.
impact could free the moon from the Earth's
Come on.
tidal pull, thus changing its day and night cycle.
Let's hit things with
Lunar
comets.
colonists may also notice a valuable resource on the surface of the moon. Because we populated the moon's atmosphere with water vapor, lunar colonists may discover reusable sources of water. Renewable water means renewable energy, which could power equipment, grow food, and foster new life
Yeah.
on the moon's desolate surface.
And the other big thing, too, that I can't stress enough is this benefits us if we were to actually do this. Because some of the technologies that we would have to further and develop for the purpose of surviving on the moon could be repurposed for actual day-to-day Earth life. So that's where we really, really benefit from this, aside from the redundancy aspect of it for as a species, right? We want to make sure the species continues on. We can mess up Earth really bad and there would still be the moon, right? But the technology that we develop, it can be reused. So the efficient power generation, the recyclation, this kind of circular food source, what do they call that? There's a term for that. When they do the hydroponic farming, and it's sort of like a circle, basically insert nitrates and stuff, right? That stuff can all be used here and can benefit us greatly. So there is an actual scientific and quality of life value to going to the moon too for those of us left on Earth.
Of course, everything we've discussed so far is theoretical.
Meh.
Countless problems could
Yeah.
arise at each and every stage. What if the ammonia doesn't trigger the greenhouse effect? What if the moon can't handle 100 comets crashing into the surface? What if the moon's atmosphere
can.
changes in ways we aren't expecting?
Then we live and
how
learn
do we deal with
and grow.
such low levels of surface gravity? It could mean devastation for our bodies. Terraforming is still a
Low gravity and no gravity environments have odd impact on the human body. I know one of the things that I had heard recently, I think I watched a video on, was the effect on vision. Something that you would never think in a million years. Oh, being in low gravity or no gravity would impact your vision, but it does. Certain people, it does. And the effects go away when they come back to Earth, but it takes time, like months of time. And it's scary because how many little things like that, these are extremely fit people that are being exposed to this today. Once you start getting more and more people, what other types of things are going to arise? How does that impact childbirth? That's a big thing, right? If we want to have a sustainable population, it's going to happen eventually. Someone's going to get pregnant and have to have a baby. How does that work in low gravity environments? What complications come from that? What happens to our bodies? Can you come back to Earth if you stayed on the moon for too long? Is there a point of no return where your bone density is just too weak? There's so many questions.
very distant concept for our species. A lot could go wrong because there's a lot we don't know.
Yep.
Humans have only recently entered the space age, yet here we are,
we're
contemplating
newbies.
interplanetary colonization. Each day, our theories push us further, and our plans grow more detailed. But we have a long way to go before colonizing another planet. If and when
true.
we terraform another cosmic body, we may begin close to home. The moon has its fair share of problems, but it's a strong candidate to house our first interplanetary settlement. In the long run, the moon may not be a lifelong residence for our species. It may be a practice run before terraforming a larger, more sustainable ecosystem. But its proximity and resources make the moon a great place to start.
It could be a practice run. Absolutely. We could learn a lot from that we can use towards doing further away bodies in the future. But if I know humanity like I think I do, we're not going to just simply abandon it and move on. No, there'll be people there forever once we start.
If we can create a functioning lunar colony, who knows where in our solar system we will go next?
Wow. Koranos. That was really good. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I thought when it started it was a Kurzgesagt video. I'm not sure why I thought that. It says clear as day, Koranos. But yeah, it was good. I liked this style. The music was good. The narrator's voice was good. It kept me entertained and engaged the whole way, and I think I learned a couple things from that. So this is our first Koranos video. I think I'm gonna probably circle back and see what else they got out there because it was nice. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you have yourself a wonderful day. Take care.